A lot of you have been enjoying the content surrounding the market strategies, and I thought, what better way to implement that even further whilst also I can work to something in return than using this channel to start our series. So welcome to the 1k to Risso. Welcome everyone, my name's Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Before we get started, if you are enjoying the content and you want to support me more, you can subscribe down below, and if you want to support me even further, you can join the membership. Just want to take a second to thank you all for 6,000 subscribers. I think we celebrated 5k last week, and we've already surpassed 6. So thank you so much to everyone who's supporting the channel, who's enjoying the content and moving forward with their own work as they do so. It really means more than you know, and I can't really put into words how thankful I am. There's some things I'm going to be working towards to be giving back to some of you a little bit more with some people in the industry, so I'm looking forward to those, and I'm looking forward to pushing this even further. Alright, so we're doing the 1k to Risso challenge. This is the challenge we're doing right now, and I've already started it because I want to make sure that as I do each episode in this series, I'm still moving further along. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I'm doing, some of the rules I'm giving myself and how I'm going to move forward with it. I'm going to show you some of the trades that I've already done and some of the things I'm holding right now. More likely or not, moving forward, I'm not going to show you what I'm actually holding right now, as people may see them on the market and then buy them when they don't actually want to buy them just because they're on the market there. But this episode in particular, just because it's the first one, I'll show you some of the things that I've bought that I'm still holding and waiting on a certain price point for me to sell off, and then we can sort of move from there as we go through the episodes. If there is something that you want to see that I don't mention in these videos, then be sure to let me know that you'd like to see it in future ones. I'm using my own account at the moment and I'm starting with 1k gems, but I'm keeping track of everything that's actually going on, and I'll show you that spreadsheet that I'm actually keeping track of what I'm doing. This way I'm going to be able to keep track of the gems that I have, the profit that I've made, and the balances that I've got at that time. One other thing that I'm going to do, and it's not really like a rule when it comes to it, but something I actually want to implement, is there's 2 different points that I'm going to try to show you. I'm going to try and buy things at sort of a mass level where I'm buying maybe 7, 8, 9 of them at a certain price point and then selling them as they go along, and then also going to try and buy maybe lower mints and lower additions and then things that are different rarities, because although maybe some of the calls that I make are going to be wrong, it's going to allow you to learn even more when it comes to this, because I'm going to make some bad calls, I'm going to buy some things at low mints and they take a while to sell, but that's all a part of the game. And through this all, we're going to work out maybe what's the best strategy to implement right now, what should we be focusing on and why. So yes, I might lose out in some points, but I think these will be better lessons for all of us over the long run as I work towards getting Risso. The reason I chose Risso as well is because he's the only one I need for season 1. I have wanted that season 1 for so long, and I could never afford him when I could, and I still can't afford him. He's now shot up to like 20k, and I'm guessing by the time I get to that point, he's probably going to be 40 or 50k, but it's still going to be that process towards him and to actually get him and have him in my vault. So I know it's going to take some time, and I know it's going to be quite a dedication to do so, but I'm hoping this can be used to help you learn too. Alright, so we'll head on over to the spreadsheet just to see what we've done so far, and we can take some notes of what I purchased and then talk a little bit about it further. So on the spreadsheet we can see that I've spent around 1600 gems so far. Now don't worry, obviously you start with 1000 and the things that I've sold have then led up to that, so that's the total amount that I've spent. It's not actually the amount that I have, because when see the current gems is around 473, that's what I've got to spend at the moment. We've bought a fair few things already, but we've made some decent profit. And how this sort of works is we get the date, the rarity, the edition that I buy, the price that I've paid for it, the base price, what it costs to buy on the drop, and then the price sold is the price that I actually get into my gem balance account rather than before tax. So this is after tax, and then the profit is obviously the actual profit that I make overall from what I'd paid compared to what I got back into my balance. We saw that we actually got the snow globe on the 14th for 198 gems. Now I really did think this was going to boom. I'd seen that this hadn't really shot up the way others had, and it was just a matter of time. This did shoot up to about 400, but I decided to just sell it off to take some profit right away as I was buying more things and was getting quite low to what I could buy. So a selling point for me was 300. I believe I sold it for 305, so we get 294 profit. We then bought 4 invisible women at different points. I bought 2 at 43, which was basically the lowest, and I got really good mints. I sold one of them off for 71 gems. And then I've also kept, I believe, 2 at the moment because I sold another one last night for 85 gems. Now, I'm keeping 2 because Invisible Woman is the first Marvel superhero woman that's ever been there. I'm saying maybe one of my price selling points are going to be about 110, and then the other one maybe about 125, something like that anyway. I've still got a 3,200 mint and a 3,900 mint, so they will go for a little bit above base price anyway, and I'm happy to keep those. A few of the other things I bought were Jake the dog, which I bought at 175. I believe he's going for about 310 at the moment. I'd say my price selling point is maybe about 350. Again, a decent mint, not great, but we've still got it. We got a Finn Mertens for 140. We actually bought that on stream, if some of you've been watching the stream, and we sold that for around 243.75. Now, I was hoping for a little bit more, but again, $100 profit. What more can we ask for in that? And again, we bought a Deadpool on the 17th for 169 gems. I'm actually potentially planning on buying another because we sold him for 248, and I believe he's actually back down at that price after going above 300. So I'm potentially thinking about picking up maybe another one of him to then sell off after another run up. Obviously, we get the Invisible Wound. We bought an uncommon Snow Globe for 110. We sold that for 156 yesterday, which was a 46 gem profit. And a few of the ones that I took a little bit of a risk on, and again, this is where we're going to show you low mints because I think this is one of the best ways to do it. Now, I bought 3 different sprites, one at 129, and this was the floor price at the time. And I got a 1288 edition, so it's still a decent edition. I believe she's going for maybe about 140 right now. And then I also was able to find 2 really low mints, 184 and 200. I bought 180 mint and a 224 mint for 184 and 200. If we go over to my actual page right now, we can see I have the 180 up for 235, which is below the other, I think, 160 mint on the market by 15. So I'm hoping that sells, although it won't give me a lot of profit. It still recoups a little bit because I took a little bit of a risk buying them for that, as the price was going down by the time that I'd actually bought them. That definitely was a little bit of a risk to do, but I wanted to do this to show you that I'm taking these risks and I'm seeing how they play out. Because yes, right away you might not make some profit, but that's okay. And say the same for the 2 new mutants that I bought. I bought 7,300 and 7,100 mints at 60 gems, and they're already down base price to I think around 54 or something. Now, I still do believe that they can rise, but it's something that I did buy at maybe a little bit of a high, and I'm okay with that. This is where we talk about conviction in our plan. We see where prices are going. We've done a little bit of market analysis. We understand why things are happening, and this is why we move forward with it. For this series, I think one of the things I'll do is maybe show you why I purchased something and the reasoning behind it. The one I gave an example a while back was the Snow Globe. And why I'd actually purchased that was because it hadn't run up the same way that others did. Now, over the last few days, we've saw run-ups from basically everything. And if we have a look here, we can see that during the time everything else was running up, Snow Globes did take a little bit of a rise from around 160 to about 190. And this is the point that I bought at. And the reason for this was because although it rose 30 gems, this was nothing compared to what the other things were rising. Some things were doubling, tripling, quadrupling, even 10xing from what they were in the same time that this rose by 30 gems. So I thought to myself, Coca-Cola is one of the biggest companies in the world. It's not had a lot of time that it's been out, so therefore it should take a rise up and should get a little bit of light when people start to realize that the listings are going down. That's exactly what I've done now. It dropped to around 160 again, but as we saw, it took a rise up to around 322, 320, and this is around about where I sold off. I sold off around about here, so it's probably the best time to sell off, but we can see that the listings went from around 599 and it shot all the way down to around 400 and is sitting around that point right now. I still do think Coca-Cola has quite a ways to run and will rise again, even buy another one after I've recorded this, because that is quite a good price, but I only do have 473, so I need to make sure that it's under the price points that I'm for. But again, this is the reasons why I'm buying these certain things. This is the reasons why I'm paying attention to what other people aren't. We're looking at things that haven't run up just yet, but are probably looking to get that run up as well. Maybe there's some things out there that you're maybe not paying too much attention to, and the people who are smarter are, and that's where they're going to make their profit and get some liquidity for that area, and then buy into some of the blue chips that they've actually been wanting and more people were paying attention to, but are now continuing to decrease as they've already had their run up and taken a healthy retraction. Each episode at the end, I'm going to tell you what I've spent as a total, what I've sold as a total, what I've made in my current gem balance at the moment as we move forward. Right now, we started with 1,000 gems. We spent a total of 1,620 526 gems. We've made around 526 back with still a lot of other assets to actually sell off, which will take us into profit. And right now we're sitting at around 473 gems for our balance moving into episode 2, still with some other things to sell off. Now I'd love for you to let me know how I could improve this and how you'd like this series to run through, what I should maybe show off more of and what I should maybe show less of. I would love for you to let me know down below. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.